Jim Keith went where other journalists feared to tread. Among other things, he claimed that Princess Diana and JFK Jr. were murdered. But now, as Doug Bruckner reports, Keith is dead as well, and some say his poisoned pen may have cost him his life.
He was Mr. Conspiracy.
The LSD that flooded this country was primarily supplied by the CIA.
A respected investigative journalist, lecturer, and author of dozens of books that chronicle government cover-ups, political assassinations, and sinister spy networks.
One hopes that our government would have some sense of ethics and morals. As you dig into this, you find that that just isn't so.
But now, Jim Keith has died in a suspicious set of circumstances worthy of one of his own conspiracy theories.
This is a very mysterious case. It needs to be investigated.
And some are asking a chilling question. Did somebody murder him because he really did know too much? This dark mystery began last September when Keith suffered a seemingly minor knee injury at the Burning Man Arts Festival near his home in Reno, Nevada.
And he didn't think much of it.
Kenn Thomas is a university researcher and respected writer himself. He was also Keith's publisher and co-author, and he says the strange events that followed Keith's accident smell of foul play.
He didn't go to the hospital immediately. It took him a day or so because as he realized that he couldn't live with the pain.
A few hours later, Keith underwent a simple operation for a torn knee ligament. Somehow, this otherwise healthy 49-year-old suddenly died right on the operating table.
Of course, the conventional explanation for Jim's death is that it was a blood clot.
But Thomas is just one of Keith's friends and colleagues who suspect the author was deliberately silenced by a political assassin who infiltrated the hospital.
It's certainly possible that they created a blood clot or that they killed him in some other means.
We spoke with Keith's associates who also believe he was murdered, but they were too afraid for their own lives to go on camera. Keith reportedly told one of them just before he died he feared he was a marked man. Meanwhile, Thomas admits he doesn't know who killed Keith or how, but he thinks he knows why. At the time of his death, Keith had just published some highly volatile conspiracy theories. That Timothy McVeigh was a CIA mind control subject programmed by secret agents to blow up the Oklahoma City Federal Building. That JFK Jr.'s tragic plane crash was no accident. It was a political assassination. But Thomas says Keith may have signed his own death warrant with a story alleging Princess Diana was also murdered.
In fact, the main theory about his death has to do with Princess Diana and the idea that she might have been pregnant when she died.
Keith was reportedly boasting that he knew the identity of the physician who could confirm the pregnancy.
And this is supposedly what marked him for death.
While there has been no official inquiry into Keith's death, Thomas says he's been conducting his own investigation.
It's certainly a mystery. There's certainly more to know. There are more answers out there. Whether the ultimate answer ever emerges remains to be seen.
Ironically, Keith's best-known investigative book, The Octopus, is about a real-life journalist Keith claims was murdered for knowing too much about the Iran conflict.
3 years, 676 commercial airline passengers have lost their lives in this area. TWA Flight 800, Swiss Air Flight 111, and countless small planes have gone down. Who could forget JFK Jr.? Now on Halloween, Egypt Air Flight 990 plunges out of the sky. It fuels the fires of conspiracy theorists like Kenn Thomas. He believes government agents are to blame.
There are 30 military personnel, Egyptian military personnel, who died on that flight. And these people were all in the U.S. training to work Apache helicopters.
This corridor from New York City to Nova Scotia has gotten a bad reputation ever since the cruise liner Andrea Doria collided off Nantucket with another ship in 1956. 51 people died. Now some pilots actually call the route the Little Bermuda Triangle, a reference to an area near the island of Bermuda where planes have missed.